Okay, we're going to get back into some masking tutorials, but this is less about the actual mask and more about the selections, because in order to get a quality mask, you need a quality selection. So there's a whole bunch of different ways, and I'll try to go over most of them. If you can see in my layers panel on the right hand side, I've got marquees, lassos, magic wands, quick select, quick mask, color range, path, and select and mask. And I'm going to try to cover all of those. So this might be a series of videos to get what you want out of this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is utilize the marquee. And the nice part about this is you can mix and match these different selection tools. Doesn't matter if you want to go from marquee to a quick select to a magic wand. You can mix and match to work with the different selections, because you can also have the options. If you look up on the toolbar, I've got create new, intersect, I've got unite, subtract, things like that. So let's zoom in on this handle and create a selection of this handle. So let's go in and generate just a simple elliptical marquee. So we'll do that. Okay, and hey, look at that. It ended up being pretty nice. That was actually by accident, but it worked. So let's go in now. I want to change to a rectangular marquee to grab the handle shape. But this time, instead of using a create new, I want to do an intersect. Well, what does an intersect do? Well, it combines the two selections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab approximately here, and let's pull this around to get the shape that we want. Okay, and you can see the selection that's generated, and it combined the two. So I've got the curve from the ellipse and the rectangle from the rectangular selection. Now I want to go in, I want to nibble off some of this selection. It's a little too large on the bottom. So let's go in and run right up against, no, so I'm going to just utilizing the selection methods. Okay, I'm in the rectangular select, but I'm in the subtract. So what you'll see is I can just go inbound a little bit to get a nice clean selection of this. So if I press Command or Control 0 to fit to my screen, you can see I've got that handle selected pretty nicely. Now what I want to do is I want to grab the cup. And how do I do that? Well, I can do that with an elliptical marquee, but if I grab this, I'm going to create an ellipse. I don't want to create an ellipse. I really want to create a circle. So let's go in and I'm going to choose the add method. Okay, and in order to control the aspect ratio, to lock the aspect ratio, essentially of an ellipse, is to create a curve or create a circle. So I'm going to grab hold, I'm going to press the shift key once I start. Now you can see I've got a circle. And now, however, it's completely in the wrong place. So all I have to do is hold down the space bar and the shift key and kind of get it close to where I want, and then resize it. Hold the shift key down, move it approximately where I want. Okay, sorry, I have a little trouble with my mouse hand here. So let go of the space bar and get it approximately the right size. Hold the space bar again and let go. So it takes a little bit of tweaking to get what you want. Then I've got what I want selected. Okay, and what you can see is it now has intersected itself with the handle. Whoops, Control Z, undo that. Let's zoom in. So you can see it's added the handle to the main body of the coffee cup. Okay, now there's modifiers, and I'm a little inbound of what I want. So let's go Control 0 to fit to the screen, or Command or Control 0. Now you can see I'm inside the coffee mug a little bit. I really want to extend that out. So if you go to the select options, there's all these modifiers that you can do. So I want to expand this a little bit. Okay, I want to expand it by 2 pixels. Let's see how that does. Nope, not quite enough. So select, modify, expand again. Okay, so expand by 2 pixels again, and we'll go in and look. It's getting pretty close. and I want to expand again by 2 more pixels. Okay, that's pretty good. It's inbound of where we want. Let's go look at the handle and see how the handle ended up. Okay, the handle looks pretty good. Okay, it may be a little bit outside here, but we can fix that later on. So now it looks pretty good. What does that have to do with anything? Well, it has to do with the fact that we've got things selected. Now I can generate a mask from this. We know when we create a mask, we can put a feather on the mask. We can also put a feather directly on the selection. I tend to like to do it on the mask because it's modifiable. But if you go in here and you say feather the selection, I can feather the actual selection that I've created, and it will create a soft edge for that. So I'll do it on the mask just because I think it's more modifiable. So let's just go create a mask from this selection. And you can see I've got a fairly nice selection. Okay, the only place I don't like it is on the outside of that handle. And it's a little bit sharp. So let's go in to our mask properties and change the feather a little bit. Let's pull it to the right a little bit. And what you'll see is it softens up the edge of that selection. Okay. Now I also see the fact that I've got that that ellipse that I created. Okay, you notice I've got this white from the previous background. So how can I fix that? Well, I can press Alt or Option and look at the actual mask. So let's look at the actual mask, and you can see that, whoops, I'm duplicating things here. Press Alt or Option, click on the layer mask thumbnail. Okay, and you can see it's fuzzy there, but I want to make a slight modification to that. So let's go in here. There's a whole bunch of different ways I can do this. What I'm going to do is just simply use the smudge tool. Okay, and I'm going to make this quite large, and I'm just going to push the black in toward the mug a little bit. Okay, so if you get like a halo like that, you can always manipulate your mask by pushing it toward the actual like cup in this case, things like that. So you can see now it looks like I'm kind of sitting on this floor or table or whatever it is, and obviously there's some effects from the depth of field that I have to worry about and things like that, but that's not part of the masking tutorial here. So you can see just by using the marquee selections, I've got rectangular marquees, elliptical marquees. You've also got single rows. I don't tend to use those. I use rectangular marquees to get what I want. And all these different Boolean operations, create new, add, subtract, things like that. And you got feathers, manipulations, and utilizing, like I use the smudge tool to just push it in. So I've also got another one here that I've got just a simple mask created. Let's press Shift and click on this layer mask thumbnail and delete it, and you can see it's just from another coffee cup, but it's got a cool design to the coffee, so I want to utilize that. So you can see very quickly you can create a composite that would make some neat effects. And if you wanted to, let's go onto this base layer and let's go filter. I'm going to convert this for smart filters because I want to be able to make manipulation. And then once this finishes, I'll have a smart object, and then I can go in to create a blur, and I want to create just a simple Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur, whatever word you want to use. And we'll go in here and I'm going to manipulate this so it looks like that table is slightly out of focus. Looks good to me. So, and you can play and create shadows under the mug and things like that to make it look more and more realistic. And obviously if I was doing this as a full compositing tutorial, that's the kind of thing that you would do. So you can see how basic selections make it easy to create accurate masks, and then you can manipulate them from there. And that's the marquee tool.